Hello and welcome to Power Ranking, a show where you, the fans, get to vote on your favorite things in video games, movies, TV, and whatever else the internet is excited about. With the upcoming launch of Paper Mario: The Origami King on July 17th, we wanted to know what your favorite Mario spin-off franchises were. There were a ton of great suggestions because it turns out there are a lot of different Mario spin-offs. But there were 5 franchises in particular that stood above the rest, so we took those suggestions and pulled across multiple IGN platforms to scientifically determine once and for all the IGN audience's favorite Mario spin-off franchise, and over 514,000 of you voted. Here are your results. In 5th place with 34,905 votes is Mario Party, and there have been so many Mario Party installments, so it's no surprise it made it into the top 5, but for as why it may not be higher on the list, it's probably all of you, like me, frustrated whenever you feel like you've been doing really well in a Mario Party game, and then you get to the end of it, and then suddenly, none of it mattered! Anyway, Mario Party is still a lot of fun to play, even if occasionally you don't always win when you think you will, but there have been so many great mini-games, so many nail-biting moments playing with friends, it is no wonder that this franchise ended up in the top 5. In 4th place with 41,506 votes is the Mario and Luigi franchise. This is one of the many RPG franchises that Mario has ventured off to. This was primarily on the Game Boy Advance as well as on the DS, and we saw a few iterations of this franchise, including one that involved Baby Mario and Baby Luigi as the duo's partners in time came together in one of the best installments in the franchise. I love these RPGs and have always been bummed we haven't seen more of them, especially in the Switch era. Hopefully, we get a return because they are such fun, clever, wonderful, and cheerful games. I hope we continue to see this franchise in the future. In 3rd place with 58,811 votes is Paper Mario. This is another RPG franchise, of course, in the Mario spin-off pantheon, and given that the Origami King is soon coming out, it's no surprise people still hold a lot of love for this franchise. This is one of the more interesting ones because it is definitely spun off in ways people may have not expected. You have Paper Mario and Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, which are the 2 beloved original RPG entries, and then you get games like Super Paper Mario and Paper Mario Sticker Star, and of course now the Origami King, and that team up they did with Mario and Luigi way back when. But there have been so many different versions of Paper Mario. Some people love some of the newer versions like Color Splash, whereas some people still hold so much love, myself included, for the original and the Thousand-Year Door. And many of us are hoping the Origami King can sort of blend the old school RPG versions of Paper Mario with some of the new additions they've brought to the series. Captain Sealed on YouTube said, Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door is one of the best games ever made, and it's one of my favorite RPGs of all time, so I won't disagree with you there. In 2nd place with 73,094 votes is Luigi's Mansion. Finally, Luigi gets his own starring franchise, but it's not a platformer. It is the spooky ghost hunting Luigi's Mansion franchise, which I personally love. It started out on the GameCube, and then it came into handheld form with Dark Moon, and then of course we recently had Luigi's Mansion 3 returning the series on the Nintendo Switch, which also had a pretty extensive multiplayer mode you could play. The Screen Scourge on YouTube says, Luigi's Mansion is such a nice change of pace from Mario games, and yes, it is definitely a little bit of a frenetic pace change from what you expect in some of the nail-biting platforming games. Luigi's Mansion, you can kind of take a little bit at your own pace. Obviously, Luigi gets pretty scared most of the time, so you can't just go barreling into all the action, but there is a lot of fun puzzle solving to do in there. And finally, power sliding into 1st place at the top of the heap, your favorite Mario spin-off franchise with 306,059 votes is the Mario Kart franchise. This is no surprise, that's almost 60% of the total votes that Mario Kart got, and it is, including mine, one of my favorite racing franchises of all time. It is the premier kart racer. I'm sorry, Crash Team Racing, I do love you, but Mario Kart still takes the win. Mario Kart has continued to be so great, including, of course, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Nintendo Switch. It still has such a long life, and it has been so involved with the Mario franchise since some of its earliest days, it's no wonder it would end up at number 1. Chaotic on Twitter says, Mario Kart is better than Mario games, minus Mario 64 IMO, and you're probably going to get a lot of debate about that, but it is definitely one of the best just general parts of the Mario franchise, so I can't disagree with you too much. Of course, there are a lot of other Mario spin-offs that have come since the origins of that wonderful plumber back on the original Nintendo and arcade games, including this one from Larry, just Larry, on Twitter, who said, Mario RPG, screw the poll. I'm sorry, Larry, there were only so many spots for the top 5 because there are a lot of Mario spin-off franchises, and, of course, there is still a lot of love for Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi, the more modern versions of sort of Mario's RPG escapades. Wahid on YouTube also gave a wonderful shout out to my personal elementary school favorite, Mario Teaches Typing. If you weren't lucky enough to learn typing via Mario, I'm sorry, you really missed out on perhaps the best typing tool ever built. That's definitely not being facetious. It's great. Now, if you missed this poll, I'm sorry, that's too bad. You probably were busy playing a Mario game. There's like 7,852 of them. I forget the exact number. You can look at the Wikipedia page. But there are a lot of Mario games, so you're probably busy with that. But unfortunately, you can't vote in this poll. But you can still do your part and get yourself on these IGN platforms to get your vote in for the next poll now, because there are no redos. But is there anything we left off the list that should have been number 1? Do you agree or disagree with the results of this ranking? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, keep it locked to IGN. Woohoo!